welcome everyone in the conference in Abu Dhabi and watching online. Really exciting for us as part of Covalent to have the opportunity to present at the Fantom Developer Conference. My name is Harish Rezangani. I am the head of developer relations at Covalent, and I'm joined by my colleague, Jacquelina.
It's super exciting to be here. Yeah, I'm the head of token marketing at Covalent too, and pretty excited about this presentation that Harish has prepared for all of you.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have the opportunity to work with Fantom, whether it's indexing their network or running an onboarding campaign. It's been a pleasure working with them. So when they asked if we were interested in presenting, we jumped on this opportunity. It is being recorded, but we are available sort of live so that we can answer questions in real time as you have it. Okay, well, let's start by just having, spending a few minutes to understand what is Covalent. And it's a pretty exciting time to be in the crypto space. Some of you might be new to the crypto space, and some of you might be developers in the what we call the Web 2 space, interested in and looking at what's happening in Web 3. But one thing to keep in mind is it's still really early in terms of the adoption rate for crypto and blockchain technology in general. We have seen over the past year some really exciting trends. We've seen an explosion in decentralized finance or DeFi, in non-fungible tokens or NFTs, and in decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs. This in conjunction with fintech and crypto merging, and a lot of governments either publicly or privately endorsing blockchain. It is a booming space and a really exciting space to be in. Jackie, are there any particular projects that you're most excited about?
I wouldn't say like any specifics. I've been focusing a lot in the DAO space, and because it's been super interesting in terms of how a lot of community ran initiatives are. But what's pretty exciting about, I guess, like different projects, what they're trying to accomplish is just different solutions that they're trying to present across different verticals. So you can take projects trying to do things in, finance, in the healthcare space, and real estate, trying to implement solutions just to give power back to people and remove the intermediaries from that and provide more educational tools to people in different third world countries who don't have access to either banking or identity. So it's really neat to see what's going to happen throughout the next few years, but awesome to see what's been spun up in terms of the opportunities that of just like doors being open for individuals all over the place. So yeah, no, I love this space. It's not like any other.
That's for sure. And I know you're pretty big in the DAO space. So I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing of what you're going to also talk about a little bit later with the Alchemist DAO, which is an initiative driven by Covalent. So here's a thought experiment that we like to run. Picture what 2025 looks like in the crypto space, and given the torrid pace of innovation, this might actually even happen sooner. But we envision a thriving multi-chain ecosystem with, of course, the likes of Fantom being at the lead, along with a couple other major chains, powering thousands of decentralized applications, with most users actually unaware that blockchain is even operating under the hood. And we'll see those apps in every industry imaginable, from finance to gaming to governments. And in this future, we can see that just an enormous amount of data is going to be created. And data interoperability and accessibility is going to be essential in order for blockchain tech to reach scale and mainstream adoption. So some of the challenges with all this data being created is that blockchain data is inherently, it's messy, it's disorganized. It can be difficult to understand. There's a lot of, scary looking, addresses and hexadecimal, strings being shared. So in order to, enable mass adoption, there needs to be an easier way to access and understand this underlying data. And of course, just storing this data, we're talking about, huge amounts of data being created. So if you are looking to run your own node for some of the larger blockchains, you're talking about gigabytes to terabytes of data that's going to be required to store it. So there's an opportunity for a middleware layer like us to play to be able to address those data challenges. And we do so by what we call the Covalent API, which is a unified API to bring visibility to billions of blockchain data points. Our motto is, one unified API, 1 billion possibilities. So with just a single API that's hosted in the cloud, you can fetch granular historical blockchain data across multiple networks, including, of course, Fantom, with no code or delays. All that data is immediately available. It's indexed. It is ready for you to consume. For those of you familiar with data integration, I'm not going to spend too much time going into the details between ETL versus ELT, but just sort of adding to the last point that all that data is immediately available for you. You can think of us like a data trawler where we have indexed all the blockchain data all the blockchain data for networks that we support and make it available through a unified API. So that data is all immediately available through our extract, load, transform data integration approach. I like to just point out what with this image, the data layer and crypto stack in terms of where middleware like Covalent fits. So you got blockchains like Fantom, you've got node providers that allow you to access the underlying blockchains and be able to read and write data like Anchor. And then you've got this data that you're pulling from the blockchain through the node providers and a tool like Covalent, which organizes and structures that data so that you can use it for a whole host of different use cases and applications. And we're just getting to the beginning of the types of use cases and applications that the underlying blockchain data can be used for. Here's just another way to visualize that. So we classify our endpoints in a few key buckets. Class A is sort of our bread and butter, where by simply changing one parameter in our API, you're able to access balances, transactions, NFT information, all the key stuff with one API, and also be able to get that data across chain by changing one parameter, which we'll have Jackie demo shortly. Our Class B endpoints are sort of customized for large projects like PancakeSwap and Uniswap that you might be familiar with, but that's not really a sustainable way for us to grow. So we're now focused on what we call our Class C, which is our community built and maintained APIs, and building those APIs will get rewarded accordingly. So we're excited to have had the opportunity to engage over 15,000 developers, and the Covalent API is powering 300 projects, everything from very large enterprises to small and medium businesses. So we are on a crazy growth track, and we're really excited about that. And of course, that brings some interesting challenges that we, as a growing team, are working through. But definitely exciting time at Covalent. So having talked a little bit about our API, let's now talk about using this API. So Jackie, get ready. We're going to have you demo this.
All right, I'm ready.
And so Jackie's not, necessarily a developer, this is an opportunity for her to show as more of an analyst how somebody who knows Excel and knows how to use different software tools to be able to use an API and pull blockchain data relatively easily. So we're going to start with, and maybe I'll get you to share here.
Okay, let's see.
So we've got two primary resources that we're going to look at, and they're all, they're essentially linked. So we'll start with the Covalent Docs, which is our knowledge base. This is the overall guide on how to use our API. There's tutorials, guides, code templates, example projects. So Jackie, if you start there.
Okay, so I'm just going to come back to the docs page.
Perfect. So the first thing everyone should do, and you can follow along and carry out the same steps that Jackie is the signing up for a free API key. This is how you're able to use the Covalent API, and you'll actually be able to use it directly in the browser. So Jackie, go ahead and sign up for the free API key.
Righty.
And I know that you've already signed up, so you can just log in. Okay. And so, guard this API key with your life. It's like your bank account information. But there's two links in here on your dashboard that are interesting. One is the API reference, which we're going to go to. The other is the Covalent documentation, which is actually where we just were. So let's click on the C API reference. And by going through this process, what you've now done is you've connected your API key directly to this API reference in the browser. You can see that next to the using API key, your key is actually now incorporated on this page. So we can make calls and use the product directly from the browser here. So in order to pull some data, we need to have we'll do this for the Fantom network. So we'll create a wallet and we will drip ourselves some test tokens so that we can use the API and see the data that we're able to pull. So let's go to the Fantom F wallet page, which is just pwawallet.fantom.network. And I think you're just going to connect your wallet. Some of you who are familiar with MetaMask and you've already got an existing wallet, you can actually just connect it directly to this Fantom F wallet, which then allows you to use MetaMask with the Fantom network. Okay, great. We see that we haven't got any assets here. So what you're going to do is copy the wallet address that you've got here. And we're going to go to the Fantom Faucet, which is a tool that allows you to receive some test Fantom tokens. So let's go to the Fantom Faucet, which is at faucet.fantom.network, and you'll simply just paste your wallet account or your address, and you will request the testnet Fantom FTM tokens. You probably just made a request pretty recently, which is why you're getting this message, but most of you shouldn't get that error. So now let's go back to your MetaMask, and let's just see what you've got on the testnet. What we were seeing in your Fantom wallet was on the mainnet. So generally, projects, they've got a mainnet and they'll have one or many testnets. So you've got 20 FTM tokens on the Fantom testnet. So let's see how we can use the Covalent API to get the same on-chain data. So if we we'll actually go back to the docs, the knowledge base, so that we can take a look at the information that we've got documented for the Fantom network. Okay,
/docs.
Okay, so if you go under the supported networks menu item, there's the full list of all the networks that we support, including Fantom. And if you click on the Fantom page, you will see a whole bunch of interesting details about Fantom, and then some key pieces of information, and in particular, the chain ID for both the mainnet and the testnet. So the chain net, these are sort of the unique identifiers for each of the different networks that is compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine or the EVM. So mainnet is 250, testnet chain ID is 4002. So let's use the 4002 one because you dripped yourself some testnet tokens.
Okay. And then I'll just go back to here.
Yep. And so we're going to use under class A, we're going to use the get token balances for address endpoint. So this is probably our most popular API endpoint because you get balances not just for ERC20 standard tokens, but also all your NFTs. You can actually get that all from this one endpoint. So we're going to use that chain ID that you just copied to 4002, and you are then going to paste in your wallet address.
Okay, so I'll just come back to here.
All right, so we
Got
copy
it.
that, paste that there. Awesome. So now we're just going to scroll down and hit try. And let's see what the API gets us. So
All
here
right.
is the information. It's in JSON format as sort of the standard. And we see that we've got a balance, we've got a 24-hour balance, and we've got some quote rates for the spot price for Fantom versus the default comparison, which is the US dollar. So this is great. We can see that this matches what we saw in MetaMask. The data that you see here is, again, mentioned is in JSON format. But if you want this in, let's say you're more comfortable working with spreadsheets and you want this in something a little bit more standard, like a CSV file, we actually have the option here where you can just specify under format CSV. And if you use that and hit try, you'll actually get your data back in tabular format where you can just copy this from this window and then paste it into Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel or Power BI or Tableau or whatever you're familiar with. So it is very friendly for analysts to be able to use this information in a format that they're most comfortable with. Great. So
everything
Jackie,
in one place.
yeah, so you just made your API call here to get the balances. If you had some NFTs, you can also set the Boolean there to true, and you would get those details. But let's actually look at a couple other endpoints that are really powerful. One additional comment to make here on the get balances endpoint? Typically, if you're using a Web3 library to get the balances for an account or a wallet address, you would have to go token contract by token contract and then ask that contract, hey, for this particular wallet, how many of your tokens am I holding? And so we've done that stitching in our database. So it is we provide this user-centric transformed endpoint where by just simply providing your wallet address, you get all the balances, including your NFTs, and then just by simply changing the chain ID and updating your address, you can get those assets across 12 plus different blockchains. It's a really powerful endpoint that can power entire applications on its own.
Love it. Power to the people and projects.
Yeah, I know I don't have to sell you on this, but it's pretty cool when you use it and you get to see your information in one place. Let's take a look at an NFT marketplace and a couple of our NFT endpoints, because those are really interesting as well. So I know ZooPets is a pretty popular marketplace on Fantom. And so we'll go to the ZooPet website and we will just find an interesting NFT that we want to explore. So go ahead and pick something.
All right, let's do Froggy Fantom.
Okay, so we got Foggy Fantom. Cool. Okay, so 3,000, let's say 3,000 FTM tokens for this one in particular. So what you'll want to note is just the token ID for this particular NFT. And that's actually just the last 4 digits there in the URL for this particular Froggy Fantom NFT. So we'll just make note of that. So there's 2 pieces of information we need to be able to extract all the metadata associated with an NFT. We need to know its token ID, and we need to know the marketplace or the underlying contract address where these NFTs are being generated. And the way we're going to get the NFT contract address is by using the Fantom Scan. So Fantom Scan is a block explorer where you can search for balances and things, NFTs and all sorts of other interesting things. And what you're going to do is you are going to search for the ZooCoin community NFT. So you got to make sure this is the NFT and not the ERC20 token standard. So this is under ERC 721. So it's the one below that you want to select. Yep. And so you happen to actually already be on it, but this is the contract address that you want to copy. So this is a contract address, recording all the transactions associated with this particular NFT. And so you're going to copy that, and you are going to go back to the API reference, And so we're going to paste in, this is under the get external NFT metadata endpoint. Yep. And so we're going to use, so what chain ID do we need to use here? This is on the mainnet.
Let's see. So then, is that 250?
It's 250, yeah.
250, yeah. And then
Okay.
the address, and then the ID 8578.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, great. So let's scroll down and hit try.
Okay.
Okay, so if we scroll down a little bit further, we can see that this is our Froggy Fantom, and there's a whole bunch of external metadata there. In this case, we're able to grab the image file, and we see the owner. We can see if you go back to the marketplace that there isn't a lot of details or description provided, but if you do have an NFT with those details that's on chain, our API would be able to pull that. But again, think about what you're able to build with this single endpoint. You can take a contract address. You can get all the, you can take an NFT contract address. You can get all the token IDs, NFT token IDs associated with that contract, and then you can basically create your own marketplace and be able to create even your own NFTs and surface it in an easy manner by just using one or at most two API endpoints here. Very, very powerful endpoints. And we're just touching the surface here. So, we've kind of talked a little bit about getting your balances. We talked about being able to get your NFT data, but there's a whole host of things, everything from getting, token holders for any token on Fantom or other networks, being able to use, the log events and really dive deep. These are a bit more advanced endpoints to use, but very, very powerful in terms of the type of analysis and visualizations and dashboards that you can create. And we haven't even touched Class B, but if you are interested, you can explore some of those endpoints as well. So this is just, again, a high-level demo on how you can build applications very quickly using the Covalent API. A couple other references to highlight before we dive into sort of the next part, which is the Alchemist DAO, is if you go back to the slide deck, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it'll probably be easier if I share my screen here for just a minute.
Go for it.
Okay, Jackie, great job going through and utilizing a couple of our endpoints, so you can see how seamless it is. So a couple things to highlight here. We actually use Replit to store a lot of our code templates. So if you join our team on replit.com, what you will see is the ability to go through and actually, we've got a whole host of templates here. We've got a whole series here on using Fantom. So these are just little template challenges, and you can actually go through, create your wallet, be able to create a little NFT marketplace, everything that we just talked about. You can go through these exercises here and be able to build your own wallet and be able to build your own NFT marketplace, which is really cool. And then, of course, Discord. So we're very heavily active on Discord. So if you've got any questions, run into any issues, please join us there, covalenthq.com/Discord, and we would be happy to help you with your projects or your questions around our API. So I just want to quickly talk about Covalent 2.0, which consists of sort of three major initiatives. The Alchemist DAO, which Jackie will dive into in just a second. Single-sided staking. So that is something that we're working on right now in terms of providing opportunities for folks holding our token to be able to stake it and then earn a yield on that. And then Covalent's in the process of decentralizing. So we'll be working, pretty heavily. We are working heavily, and we'll continue to work heavily on decentralizing our network and making it a key public utility for everyone to be able to utilize. So that's just a quick snapshot of what's ahead, but I'll let Jackie talk a bit more about the Alchemist DAO.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to presenting my screen. Right. Can you see my screen now?
I can. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is an initiative that we have recently launched. It's something that actually spun off from our original ambassador program. But yeah, I'll just go into what Alchemist DAO actually is and why it's really exciting to have it be part of, contributing back to Covalent's network. But yeah, Alchemist DAO is basically a place where it's a community of innovative data nerds that thrive within the Covalent network. And it's really dedicated to being able to breaking barriers and creating a new economy powered by data. And it really gives individuals the opportunity to explore aspirations, pursue queries, and own your future in a space where contributions really become currency. So it's really enabled and given access to those, especially in regions or those who don't have access to education and tools to really thrive and grow and challenge themselves, especially with a lot of the events, workshops, and tools that we've been able to give. Hackathons is like a big, huge one too. That's been great for developers and non-developers to take part in that Harish has ran. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, so how it actually converted into a DAO, and I've talked a little bit about just the amazing growth that we saw in the previous part of the program is before, in a span of just 3 months, we were actually able to onboard 2,500, we call them alchemists, as part of the community. And we were able to create several leadership roles within that with people who are very excited to contribute and give back to the network or just be part of Covalent's larger mission and vision. So a lot of people wanted to feel like they were part of a legacy that we were working towards and really being the ones to champion providing transparency and the data accessibility just to everybody. And from that, we've been able to expand to over 30 regional communities, all ran by alchemists. We've been able to do workshops that have been either lifestyle, technical, that we've been able to set up where people were learning about NFTs or Solidity and anything that had to do with growth and development. So people could work on developing personally and professionally. And another amazing thing that we saw spin off that we want to continue and are continuing to see like during the DAO is just jobs that we've been able to create for other alchemists who have been able to either they're building like really awesome dashboards that partners have seen spin out of hackathons that Harish has ran, or just how they've seen them interact within the program. So it's great to be able to provide them with that. And then, yeah, just being able to have a bunch of articles, whether if they're technical or just general, that are written to really help individuals understand different aspects of either the API or different workshops, translated in different languages has really helped too. So these are just kind of like the high level things that came out of the program. And because it grew so fast, that's why we wanted to transform it into a DAO to really again allow more people to contribute to the larger mission and vision, and we could continue also impacting lives. But yeah, I love showing this map because it actually showcases where our alchemists are based out of. So you can see that we're very diverse. We really champion the inclusivity and the culture of everything. But yeah, and other great components that I like talking about on why people should join and that we're starting to spin off more of that you're going to be seeing in November is more with guilds, and you'll be able to contribute a lot of passion projects, ideas. You'll be able to do proposals, be part of governance, have access to partners. You're going to be able to network with a lot of like-minded people from different backgrounds and skill sets through the DAO, and also be part of gaining a lot of like neat NFTs or POAPs that people have become very obsessed with from our community. And it's been awesome to see that and having use cases built off of those. Yeah, and then also access to a lot of budgets that we've been able to set up since we've been bootstrapping this and on a mission to have it be sustainable where people can really create those opportunities for themselves. And yeah, and these are the type of guilds that we'll be able to launch, or we're going to have a lot of things live in November that people can take part in. And I highly recommend everybody here to take a look at our developer guild. We've been starting to do some really cool, engaging things, working on some projects that our guild leaders are starting to organize with a potential partner too, which is going to turn into something that I believe is going to be like long term, and that other projects will be able to actually onboard as a tool that people can use not just in the DAO space, but other spaces as well. But yeah, if you're interested, we also have esports, research. They've been doing a lot of cool things. Education, that's a huge thing that we want to champion too, especially because we see that gap in this space. Mental health was actually one of the most requested guilds within the DAO, fitness and marketing and growth, of course. But yeah, super exciting for us, getting a lot of things put in place. And yeah, that's just a little bit of a gist of what's going on with Alchemist DAO. So I'll hand it back off to Harish.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. I know you're super passionate. Everyone calls you the Alchemist Queen. And we can see, given the efforts and what you put into it, it's definitely paid its dividends. Awesome. Well, that's it for the presentation part. We're around to help answer any questions. And again, for developers, a couple of key resources: Discord, and join our team on Replit, where you get access to those code templates to be able to quickly walk through and build your own wallet or NFT marketplace, as well as a bunch of other use cases. So thank you, Fantom. Thank you for the opportunity to present at the developer conference, and really excited to see what this aspiring group of participants are able to build on the Fantom network and other networks. Thank you.